Sakia.
Hey, Coach.
Listen, I am so excited to have this conversation with you today.
Absolutely.
Listen, you've been here, for over a year?
Like a year and a half.
A year and a half you've been in the business, and I feel like it's just been steamroll, fast-paced. Yes. You've been moving. A lot has happened in your life, but a lot of changes, actually.
Yes.
But you've also grown so much in this business.
Yes.
We spend a lot of time together, and so I've gotten to know you very well. And you've helped a lot of families, right?
Yes.
So when it comes to helping a lot of families, coming into this business and really taking it by storm, would you say it's hard work?
Oh my God. It is hard work, and you definitely have to be determined. You have to have the mindset, and you really just have to have that mission, the crusade behind you, because without that, you know, what is it for?
So when you think about like that day to day, because you have a family, you have a husband, you know, you have a lot going on. You had a big business when you came into this business already. And so when you think about the hard work that you had to put forth to get to where you are in the business now, what keeps you going? What keeps you focused?
Yeah, so my children are my why. My family, everything that I've done. So even with my med spa, that was more so like for my family. It was for me. I was passionate about it, but I wanted to make sure that I created some type of legacy. But that changed once, you know, one of my friends who are in the business, and she's like, you know, do you have the proper life insurance and investments in place? And I'm like, I think so. and she like, okay, so what does that look like? I'm like, my husband got life insurance on his job. I'm covered. I'm good. And then she had to sit down and really educate me. And I realized in that moment that if I was to leave here today, that I can't pass down my business. They're babies.
Yeah.
And so being properly protected, making sure that I'm building that financial house, it was very important to me.
Wow. Do you see a lot of other people that you meet with in that same situation?
Absolutely. So it's the people that you think they got it all together, that have a nice house, drive a nice car, they family oriented, married, and then when you sit down with them, they're not properly protected with life insurance. You know, they don't have enough. And so they may have like $50,000 policy, but they have a mortgage, they have 5 kids. And so it's like, what are you leaving to your children?
Yes, and you know you say that because I was that person that people thought, oh, she has it all together. She's a nurse. Her spouse is a doctor. You know, they're good. But I had a $50,000 policy.
Right.
Okay? And so
Thought you were
terribly.
winning.
Yeah, I thought I was good. You know, and honestly, it's not something that I thought about. So when we
Yes.
think about sitting down with families, the hard work that we do, honestly, life insurance is not something people think about on a daily basis.
Absolutely.
People aren't just like waking up like, I wonder if I have life insurance. I have enough life insurance. I
Yes.
wonder if I should switch my life insurance.
Yes.
And so what we do by the way that we get referrals, sitting down with different people, field training people in the business, the work that we have to do to continue to build that inventory is so important.
Yes.
So even though it's hard work, like for me, now we're all on Zoom,
Yes.
right? So you have it easy because you
Yeah,
came in there.
Zoom baby.
Zoom baby is what we call you, right? But when I came in, we drove to the homes and we sat at the kitchen table and we educated families. And so I might go an hour to one side of the town and then another hour to the other side.
Yeah.
And so it was truly hard work. I would go
Yes.
home and be so exhausted after a full day of educating people, right? But I truly believe that hard work has been worth it.
Yes.
On one side of things, really from just seeing the growth in agents like yourself, you know, from where you start to now, the knowledge that you have, the money that you're making, right? The belief, all of that, the teams that you're building, that side is so worth it.
Yes.
And then it's also so worth it on the client side.
Yes.
Right? When you get someone into a life insurance policy and someone passes away and now we're able to deliver that check,
Yes.
when I think about the hard work that's put in, it's so worth it, right?
Yes.
So when you think about, you know, life insurance and the importance and the impact that we truly make, what comes to mind for you?
So what comes to mind is a little backstory about my mother-in-law. You know, she passed away last July. It's almost been a year.
Yeah.
And a couple of months before that, she told me, we were in the hospital. She like, hey, can you see if I can get approved, you know, for policy? And I'm like, okay, yeah, for sure. Because now I'm an agent. I can do this. And we did the policy. And then when we got to the medical history, it was like, I was like, oh, I don't know if you're going to get approved. And so comes to find out she got denied.
Yeah.
And so then a month, 2 months later, she passed away.
Yeah.
And so that was very tough for my family, you know, having to plan a funeral with no life insurance, and that was a struggle.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if I would have been in the business maybe 5 years ago or 10 years ago, I could have saved her, and I could have saved our family. Well, I could have, prepared that legacy for our family and helped her because she has 6 children. And so preparing for the future, that's the most important part, because your children asked to be here, but then it's like, okay, well, now that I have the knowledge, the financial literacy, now I can put my family in a position to where they can thrive without me when I'm gone.
Yeah.
And so that was an eye-opener for me. I feel like once I got into the business, that was when it became important. This is the impact that we have on families. This is how we can set people up to soar in life for for generations to come.
Yeah. Oh, that's such. I'm sorry. I was there obviously when all of this happened, and I saw the impact that it had on you and your family, and still has, right? Because it wasn't that long ago.
Right.
And so leaving behind money is important, but the whole planning a funeral without having enough funds is very tough.
Yes.
Right. And so when you think about families that we sit down with, and being able to illustrate that story to them, your own personal testimony, that's powerful in itself. And I'm sure that helps people really see the picture of why they need to make sure that they're properly protected, right?
Yes.
Even being able to take time off to grieve.
Yeah.
Even if, the kids are a little bit older, being able to grieve in peace, right? We say not having to grieve and need at the same time is so important. So I think that's a very powerful story, and you got through it, right? You got through it.
Getting through it.
Yes. You are getting through it.
Yes.
And do you think it fueled your belief in the business even more?
It did. I mean, it really did. And honestly, it's like, there's always a moment where where you're reminded how important something is. So I had another client too, she's young and healthy. So it's not, even when you're sick, now we say, okay, you may not get approved and to get it when you're young and healthy, but I had a young and healthy client as well.
Yeah.
And because she was stressing out about something, had a mild heart attack, her policy lapsed. And so then now she tried to get approved, reinstate her policy, and now she's denied 34 with 4 children.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
And so just the importance of not only getting it when you're young and healthy, but keeping it in place, because you never know what happens, because life is so unpredictable.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. These stories are like crazy.
Yes.
For people who hear these stories, that is so sad. So now she's uninsurable, because you just never know what can happen. Wow. So we have to make sure, like, as we're talking to people, we can't just, my coach always told me, facts tell and stories sell.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? And so, it's important for our teammates to even know, like, we can tell people the facts, all of the concepts, and tell them what the stats say.
Yeah.
But it's important for us to illustrate these stories.
Yes.
Even I might have to use your story on one of my appointments to one of my clients for them to see. It doesn't have to be my story, but this is a story that I can borrow to really illustrate that picture to someone else, to show them how important what we do is. So thank you for sharing that.
Not a problem.
All right. Anything else before we go ahead and wrap this up?
No, I mean, honestly, there's really nothing else to say other than, making sure that you have that financial literacy, have income replacement, and then build that financial house for your family.
The foundation.
Because the foundation of it all. And so that's what matters, and that's what's most important.
Yeah, I think you mentioned something very important. The foundation of the financial house, right, is life insurance.
Yes.
And, sometimes clients will ask me, what, can I just start the investments? I want to think about the life insurance, or I don't know if I want the life insurance. And I have to say exactly that.
Yeah.
The life insurance is the foundation. Because if you start an investment with me today, but you don't have a life insurance policy, you pass away tomorrow, your family's going to get whatever you put into the investment, $50, $100, when they could have gotten that entire amount on that life insurance policy.
Correct.
So starting with that foundation is very, very important. I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yes.
But this has been so good. Thank you for sharing those stories.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, I will see
Appreciate
you
it.
soon.
All right.